Hello and welcome to Homer for February 5th, 2025. Hos fato toisi de passin hea dota muoton wepen. Al tike kauru kes men hudor epikera sa kauan. Kuroi de kreteras epestepsan topatoyo. Nome sandara passin park samenoi de paesin. Altare pespe sante pion hoson etele tuomos. Hormonte clisies agamemnonos atreidao. Toisi de pole petele. Gerenio supota nestor den dillon se caston du sei de malista. Per anhos pepitoi na murmona pele iona. Todo paten paratina na palupo flois boyo. Todo paten paratina, palu flospoio talasses. Pola maleo come noi gaie o coie no si gaioi. Rei dios pepiten megalas penes ai akitao. Mormidonon epite, crisias kai ne asikesten. Ton teuron prenater pomenon formingi ligeie. Kalle dai dalle epidar gurereion Kalle dai dalle epidar gureions dugon heien Teinar exexenaron poline tion osolessas Te hoge tu moneter penaede dara clea andron Te hoge tu moneter pen aede dara aede dara clea andron. Okay, sweet. All right. So thus he spoke. So many times we go through before. Thus he spoke. Let me get the English up here for those inquiring minds. Anyway, thus he spoke, and this was pleasing. This word, he spoke this word that was pleasing to all people. And then right at that moment, heralds with water in their hands, they poured them over their hands, right? Sorry, they poured the water over their hands. And then these accompanying boys / youths, they filled the croters of water with wine. So they mixed the water with wine and they doled it out to all of them, being in charge of the cups. And then after that, they made their pouring out, and then they drank as much as each desired in his spirit. And then, much like in my fraternity, anyway, so then they, it's probably a little more serious back then, guys, don't worry. Anyway, so then they sped on their way. They got on their way. They started on their way out of the hut of Agamemnon, the son of Atreus, and the Geranian horseman Nestor was. I don't know. He was prescribing. He was commanding. He was accomplishing some telos, muchly, to them, while looking at each of them. Right. Dendilon. This is a very important word. It's hapaxlegomenon. Anyway, so, and he did this to Odysseus most of all, attempting to, that he should attempt to persuade the blameless son of Peleus. Anyway, so both of them, this is in the duel, both of them went along the shoreline. Notably, it's 5 people, not 3, or not 2 rather. Both of them went along the shore, the much resounding sea, and they were much praying to the earth holding, earth shaking, that they should easily persuade the great-hearted son of Aeacadeo, right, the Aeacadian guy, Achilles, of the Myrmidons. Then they arrived at the hut, and they came to the ships, right, and they found him. They found Ton, Achilles, pleasing his heart with a very clear-sounding pharynx, right, which is the old Homeric instrument, the word for lyre in the Iliad, which is beautiful and well-wrought, and it is epidargureion dugoneien, right, so it is crafted of silver, and sort of strung up with silver, right, or, strung up and crafted with silver, I believe, yoked, and he had gotten this he had gotten this good thing, right, from the spoils of having destroyed the city of Etionos. And Etion, right? And he pleased his Thumos. His Thumos was pleased with it, and he was singing of the fame of men, of heroes, I guess is how it's often translated. Okay, so we have three things to note here. First of all, this word, there's a lot of speech that's skipped over in this passage, right? So you have the libation, you have Nestor that's saying something, right? And then you also have the prayer to Poseidon here, right? A lot of people that are not named, also very interesting in that sense. This is, and I think it's summed up with this look, right? This word only occurs once in Homer. It's a hapax legomenon, right? And it means looking, right? So Guarani and Nestor is just looking at each of them as if that's the significance that's required in order to really get across the message, like, you guys can't mess this up. And then the second thing that I want to note is the fact that, of course, Achilles is playing the lyre, right? What are we doing when we sing the Iliad? We are playing the lyre. There's a meta-musicality of that, and there's the significance of the fact that he's singing of the fame of men, which is also what we're doing right now. It's all very circular, but it also shows that his spoil from Etienne, right, this silver lyre, right, he can do something that is going to fill his heart forever, right, or I guess until, he has to go fight on behalf of Patroclus, right, but theoretically forever he could survive off of singing of the fame of men. He doesn't need Brises, he doesn't need, he's a strong, sensitive young man. He doesn't need no woman, right? So he's like, this sort of, he's fine. Like, basically, they find him in perfect contentment, right? He's pleasing his spirit, pleasing, right? Thumon, he is pleasing his thumos, right? Which is very different than the thumos that is pleased here, right? On behalf of the wine, right? Which is something that, you have to, I mean, like, how much do you actually need, relative clause here. He seems very content, right? He seems fine. And it's made of silver. Okay, that's great. And then the third and final thing that I want to mention is, the duel here. It's obviously not two people. It's more than two people. This is a very confusing thing for Iliad scholars. Why is this in the duel, right? The duel is very specific. I think it comes down to, there's a very long discussion of this I found in the literature. I think it just comes down to, look, it's a multiplicity and it's an art of language. And some of these, the watering over the hands thing, that's kind of formulaic. But here there really is no excuse for using the duel when it's clearly not duel. But maybe they're just trying to exclude Odysseus and the others, right? It's really the heralds. It's really the Kairukas, right? And of course the Kairukas, very, very notably, are the vassals that take you down to the underworld. Anyway, with that, we will hold off until tomorrow. Look forward to seeing you then. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great day.